light in the ears of the friends, Mola. Ya Mola Meherban, please help us, Mola. Please help us, Mola. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Once again, Ya Ali Madad to all friends. We will continue with our beautiful Farman of Jangbar, July 13th, 1899. And we had covered. And let's just start reading from here because it's a continuation. So we will read and inshallah paraphrase it in English so we can continue discussing it. Let us recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadi wa ali Muhammad. તમારામાંથી 10-12 વર્ષના છોકરા હોય તેઓને તાલીમ આપીએ તો અલબત્ત તેઓ વાકેફગાર થઈ શકે. Imam's hukum is that youngsters, if they were to be seeking knowledge, Imam had, remember we had discussed that there are 10-12 years old boys and Imam would give them talimat. બાળક હોય તેઓને કોઈ બીજા દીનવાળાને ખરાબ સોબત થઈ જાય અને તેના દિલમાં બીજા દીનની કોઈ ગળ બેસી આપે તો તે ફરી જશે અને દિવસે દિવસે તેના દિલમાં વધારે કીનો પેદા થશે. When our youngsters are in company of other religions, friends, and if they do not have their own foundation of their own deen knowledge, and if someone intentionally starts putting doubts in their mind, it will be very easy to take them astray. It will be very easy. And if they do not have any knowledge, then the doubt will continue to increase to the extent that we do see that Jama'at leaves Imam. આજથી 10-12 વર્ષ અગાઉ કુરાને શરીફ પઢેલા 5-10 જણાને અમારા પાસે મોકલાવવામાં આવ્યા હોત તો અમે આપણા દીનની દરેક વાત અને કાયદા કુરાને શરીફમાંથી કાઢી આપત. એમ થતે તો કેટલો ફાયદો થાત અને દીનનો કેટલો વધારો થયો હોત. Now this is very interesting paragraph that Mola is at the end asking this question. That if 10-12 years before, if there were some who had studied Quran, Imam and sent to Imam for training, for education, Imam says that I would have given them knowledge. It is very strange. It sounds like that Imam would sit down and take classes, teach them. But this is what Imam is saying. So we have to reflect, what does it mean? That Imam says 10-12 years before, if these youngsters had known the Quran, Imam would have taught them. So teaching what? If they had already known the Quran, then what Imam would teach them? Surely Tawil, right? So Imam is saying that if that were to happen, how beneficial it would have been to our deen. How progressive it would have been for our deen. So Imam does want progress. Imam does want, increase in faith. In today's time, we don't do dawat, but that does not mean that the increase or progress is not needed. It is needed among ourselves because Jama'at does not know the talimat of Quran, nor tanzil, nor ta'wil. So Imam is saying if in 1899, if it were to happen, it would have increased in our faith, right? હર કોઈ બીજા દીનવાળાને આપણા દીનમાં લાવવો હોય તો પહેલાં તેના દીનથી વાકેફગાર થવાની જરૂર છે. તેનો દીન ખ્યાલમાં લેવો જોઈએ, તેના દીન પ્રમાણે તેને નસીહત કરવી જોઈએ. ત્યારબાદ તેનો દીન સાથે આપણા દીનને મલાવીને પછી આપણા દીનનો રસ્તો દેખાડવો જોઈએ. તો તરત તે આપણા દીનમાં આવે, તેમાં કાંઈ શક નથી. So beautifully Imam is guiding that if you want to teach to others, you have to learn their deen and you have to start your advising nasihat from similar things to go into the different things. This is a way of teaching. This is a strategy of teaching, that you start from what they know and then take them slowly, step by step to uh, content or sources which yet they do not know. And that's what our peers did. Actually, Imam is teaching us how our peers had worked with us. Our forefathers were first, taught the things which they already knew, and then they were brought into the Ismaili Tariqa. However, we do not see that they reached to the level of knowing Quran. And over the period of time, somehow, this Farman is here. In Ginan, there are so many places Qurani Talimat is mentioned. Importance of giving this due respect to our Prophet, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have not done that. Somehow we dropped the ball. The Jama'at from Indo-Pak, we dropped the ball. And there are very many times that when I started teaching after COVID, there will be Jamati members who would defend that Ginan is enough. And look at this Farman. And I hope that today when we are discussing this Farman, our minds are more opened, because everywhere we are now learning, listening about Quran Sharif and importance of Quran Sharif. Not that our tariqa has changed, we are Smileys. But today, I hope that there is much more openness and desire to learn Quran. But the thing is that when I talk about COVID, it's just few years ago. This Farman is 1899. So I sometimes struggle. I do struggle that why, it happened to us. What happened? Somewhere something did happen that we didn't understand the talimat of our peer, Farmans of Imam. Not that they were not existing, but somehow we did drop the ball. We have to accept that. Because if we don't acknowledge what we did wrong, we will not rectify our mistakes. So, very crucial and very important that we have to understand. We have to understand what we have done wrong. So, when Imam is saying here that this is the strategy which our peers used, that they taught from similar things, and then they went into the resources which were new. And you always do the same strategy to help Jamaat learn the new knowledge. Then only it will become effective. Otherwise, you start from something which they don't know. We freak them out, we make them very uncomfortable, intimidated, and they will not be learning. So this is a way of teaching. So this is what our peer did. And then Imam is saying, પીર સદરદીને તમને હકીકતી દીન દેખાડ્યો તે તરત નહીં દેખાડ્યો હતો. Exactly, Imam is talking about peer. And he's now mentioning Pir Sadruddin, that he did show us Hakikati Deen, Hakikati Tariqa, but he didn't do that immediately. પહેલા હિન્દુ ધર્મની નસીહતો કરી અને ત્યારબાદ સતપન દીનનો રસ્તો તેઓને દીન સાથે જોડી દેખાડ્યો. ત્યારે આ દીનનો ફાયદો થયો છે. So those who understand Gujarati, let me paraphrase, because I thought of a Ginan, beautiful Ginan, Momin Chetamri. So let me talk about that Ginan also. So Imam is saying, Pir Sadruddin tamne hakikati deen dekhadio te, tarat nahi dekhadio to. Immediately, Pir did not show us the path of our deen. First, he took Hindu Dharam and all the advices from Hindu Dharam. Remember, all religion have same teachings, which are the teachings of Allah, meaning, do not kill, do not harm, do not mistreat each other, no hasad, gibat, kina. All these are existing to be a good human beings. It is taught in every deen, every deen. So those talimat are similar. You go to any religion, you will learn these things. And then Pir actually brought to Satpandi. Now, the reason I mentioned Momin Chetamani, if you pick up that Ginan, Momin Chetamani means to alert the Momin, to give advice to Momin, waking up the Momin. It starts with, Brahma and, this and that, all the Hindu terminology. But if you continue to study this long, very long Ginan, Pir ends it with Prophet Muhammad being the Natik, Maula Ali, and all the Talimat of Muslim Tariqa. But it is a very long Ginan. It requires one to really study it from beginning to end to really understand step by step how he ends it at the Prophet. But what happens? We study the beginning part and then that's it. And you know, somehow the singing of the Ginanic verses also, because Jamaat lived in India, so similar thing, familiar things were easier to pick up. So most of the time, the same verses are recited in Jamaat Khana. So Jamaat keeps listening to those ginans and they become comfortable with it. And that's what they start believing that this is it. Nobody goes till the end to talk about sing those verses or teach those verses where Prophet Muhammad is mentioned, Quran is mentioned. So very, very powerful Ginan, Momin Chetamri, it is amazing Ginan to study the whole Ginan. The point I'm trying to make that it is easy to be with familiar things. It is easy to be in comfort zone. It is difficult to learn new things. But then question is, are we Farman Bardar? And we have to ourselves decide what do we want. And take the right steps to rectify the mistakes we have done for generations, right? And then Imam is saying, so we understand how peers taught us. જે મુસલમાનો શરીયતી આપણા દિલમાં ના હોય તેને આપણા જ્ઞાનની માયના સંભળાવો તે કબૂલ નહીં કરશે. So Imam is saying if there is a Shariati Muslim and you start telling them about Ginan to explain our deen, they will not accept it. Why would Imam give us example of Muslim, Shariati, Sunni? We don't need to talk to them. But today, in 2024, our children are facing this challenge. They do want to, they have friends and they want to fit in and they don't understand that if we call ourselves Muslim, why do we talk of Ginan only? Well, Quran is our book. So I don't need to go further in that. I think we all understand this challenge which we are facing as Jama'at, right? એટલું જ નહીં પણ સામે મસ્ખરી કરશે. They'll make fun of our children. They will make fun, and this is true. And that is one of the biggest thing when children are, made fun of. They would the doubt will enter. That is it. The doubt has entered because these are when the children don't have foundation in their heart, in their mind, and when they are taken talked like that, made fun of, it is very easy for others to take them out of religion. Forget about children. Adults, mature adults have left the tariqa. Why did that happen? Because we did not have the knowledge. And those who take our Jamati members out of tariqa, it is mostly Sunni Muslim and it is based on Quran. So do know the challenge we face as a whole Jamaat. તેના આપણા દીન ઉપર એતબાર નથી. આવા માણસને તરત આપણા દીનની માયના સંભળાવો તો તે કબૂલ નહીં કરશે, પણ એટલું જ પણ ઉલટું આપણાને બેવકૂફ લેશે. Not only that they will not accept what we are saying, but they will think of us as stupid. So Jamaat is very intelligent. Our Jamaat is very successful economically, financially, physically. Why would we be compromising our intelligence in this aspect? Because we are not giving it its due importance. So I hope that we are understanding the Farman of Imam and his Hidayat. તમે તમારામાંથી એવા શખ્સો શોધી કાઢો કે જે કુરાને શરીફ તથા તેની માયના જાણતા હોય તો અમે તેમને આપણા દીનની દરેક વિગત કુરાને શરીફમાંથી દેખાડી આપીએ. કુરાને શરીફમાંથી 10 ઠેકાણે અથવા તેથી પણ વધારે ઠેકાણે સાબિતી કરી આપીએ. Again, Imam is saying that, find those people in your Jamaat who are capable of giving you ta'wil, maina of the Quran, not the translation, meaning of the Quran, and then they can teach you that, how Quran is our book and our tariqa is the true deen haq. And Imam is saying that in Quran I can show you 10 places how this deen is deen haq, but more than that. And in today, by having this books of our Buzrugwar deen, Allama Sahib says that there are 6,666 verses in Quran, and each verse is about Imam. Each verse. But you have to have eye of knowledge to be able to see that. Meaning we need to have knowledge that if, not 10, 12, 15 or 100 places, 6,666 places. He being smiley, if he's saying that he is a scholar, written 100 plus books, have we read those books to be able to say 6,666 times I saw Imam in the Quran? The Iman is so firm, nobody can shake that Iman. So we have to have that knowledge to have, Iman ji mazbooti, firmness of our Iman. તમે લોકો કુરાન શરીફ જાણતા નથી અને જેઓ જાણે છે તેઓ પણ પોપટની માફક વાંચી જાય છે તેમાં શું ફાયદો? Whenever we talk about learning Quran, the one aspect which is very common in Jama'at is to learn to recite Quran, being able to read Quran. And of course, Quran is so beautiful and rhythmic that to be able to pronounce it properly and read properly and recite, it is so beautiful. And it is, a matter of pride that yes, you can read Arabic. But is that all? Imam is saying, in a very strong words, that you are like a parrot. If you learn Quran, you learn like a parrot. Not that we do not have to learn at a young age. Children have to start from parrot-like learning, repetition, but adults, no. No, we should not be doing that. But do we do that? Yes. That's why Imam is saying it. That we get impressed by things which are, reputation, impressive, charismatic, and we stay to that level because it makes us happy and it doesn't push us to work hard. But whenever we are in a classes where we are pushed out of our comfort zone, Jamaat does not give preference or importance to it. And Imam's Hidayat is very, very clear. This is just not about recitation of Quran. Yes, it is also talking about when we start learning Quran, it is about how to recite. But then that is it? No. Because if we were to do that, then it is like parrot repeating the Quran recitation. After that, the meaning is also important. And if we are studying at an adult age, I would say we don't even have to do this repetition part, recite, but focus on the meaning of it because we have limited time in our life. If someone is young and they started a youngster life, sure, start with repetition and then go into the meaning. Don't just stay there. What happens? Oh, people you would hear, oh, my child has completed the Quran. Because there is a term, that they have Khatamul Quran, Khatam, something like that. That they have finished the Quran, and then there is Hafiz Quran, they have memorized the Quran. But Quran finish or memorizing the Quran does not serve us at all. It does not serve us at all. How much meaning, Tawili meaning do we know? That's what matters. If we learn, the way we've learned our dua, we've memorized it. But how many times we are able to focus in dua? It is because, we have not connected with the meaning of dua. If we learn to recite Ayatul Kursi or Ayah Nur, have we understood the meaning of it and reflect on the meaning? And meaning is not just one or two, there are very many meanings. And we have to constantly continue to learn the meaning, review it, repeat it, reflect on it. So that's what Imam's Hidayat is, that do not be learning like poet. And of course, when we apply it in a broader sense, that, those who recite beautifully, like a, parrot, if they have memorized it and they're able to recite it beautifully, and we get impressed. So when we get impressed, we have to really ask ourselves, critically thinking, is it all about being impressed by somebody, by a speaker, or is it about learning how to be able to see, to push ourselves from out of the comfort zone? Again, it requires reflection for us to understand that there are very many aspects and meanings in this Farman, and according to the individual levels. The more we reflect, the more we will understand. And it is all about us as individual to find out where the gaps are within us. તમે અંગ્રેજી અક્ષરો જાણતા હો પણ ભાષા નહીં જાણતા હો અને કોઈ અંગ્રેજ ગૃહસ્થ પાસે કામે જાઓ તો તેમને કાંઈ હાસિલ નહીં થાય પણ ભાષામાં હોશિયાર હશો તો કામ થશે. Now Imam is giving importance to language, that if you were to work with an Englishman, but if you don't know the language, if you just know the few words, it won't work for you. You need to know the language. And then Imam says hushiyar. We have to critically look at Imam's words. Hushiyar is with intelligence. That does language learning needs intelligence? When you think of Arabic language, oh my goodness, Arabic language does require us to be very intelligent and reflective and smart to understand. So it is very interesting when Imam, gives example, and when you, at your age, you continue to reflect and learn and grow, you realize that Imam's farmans are so, profound that we really have to pay attention to it. In language also, there is intelligence which is needed to be able to understand the Tawili meaning of Quran. આ પ્રમાણે તમારામાંથી ઘણા જણા કુરાને શરીફ વાંચી જાણે છે પણ તેની માયના સમજતા નથી. તેઓ સગડા ઉપરના દાખલા પ્રમાણે છે, મતલબ સમજ્યા વગર પડવું નકામું છે. So Imam is again paraphrasing that all this example which I have given you above about English language or whatever we've been talking about it is actually to do with Quran and Sharif, and Quran's language is Arabic. Imam is saying that you need to learn the meaning of it. Otherwise, whatever you do, if you do not know the meaning of it, it is all waste, useless. બીજી કોમવાળાઓને આપણા દીનમાં લાવવું હોય તો પહેલાં તેના દીનની બરાબર વાકેફગાર થવાની જરૂર છે. ત્યારબાદ આપણો દીન તેઓના દીન સાથે મળાવી દેખાડવો જોઈએ. ત્યારે જ તે કબૂલ કરી અને એને વિશ્વાસ આવે. Very, very, powerful words Imam is using. That first, you have to, if you're talking to anybody else from other deen, you have to know their deen first and talk what they know, and then teach them about, our deen, share things about our deen. If you don't do that, then it won't be beneficial and they will not believe you. Remember, this is related to dawat. Iman is very important. Believing, viswas is very important. Again, today we do not do the dawat outside. But if you are attending global lectures on Saturdays and Sundays, and when you listen to the questions from friends, Jama'ati friends asking, there is a lot we need to do for ourselves, our Jama'ati members. Because there are so many different levels, and Jama'at is living in different countries, in different circumstances, and they do not know about Smiley Tariqa. They call themselves Smileys, but they don't know. We can tell from the questions. And, presentations also. Some presentations are geared, more towards Quran. Others would have Ginan and Quran Farman in it. Again, responding to different Jama'ati members, trying to take care of all the Jama'ati members who are learning there. But that shows us, if we are lost in one session or we hear these questions which doesn't make sense, then how would anybody ask that question? It is all related to this paragraph of Imam, that whatever they are influenced by, for example, Jama'at, I have talked to Jama'at who lives in India, and they are much more aware about the importance of Quran than Jama'at who have moved out of India. And they, as I mentioned last time also, that there are Jama'ati members who would listen to Hindu Bhagat teaching on TV to learn about Smiley Tariqa. Is it possible? No, it is just that they're stuck at which is similar. And then slowly they're going into this, Devi Devta and whatever Hindu deen is teaching, because they don't They are not able to filter it. There is no foundation. Similarly, there are Jama'ats who were influenced by Shia community strongly, and some influenced by Sunni community, others by Christians. So where Jamaat is coming from different areas, and they always look at others and ask why others are doing that and why are we doing that. So it is very important that our Jamaat has to have our Dini Tariqa knowledge, and it has to be from Quran. It has to be from Quran. Gyanan will not suffice in today's time. We have to know this, we have to realize this for our youngsters in Jamaat. So when we talk of believing, Iman, it is with knowledge, it is to do with Quran. આપણા દીનની સાબતી જોતી હોય તો યહૂદી નસારા સુન્ની તેમજ સગળી મુસલમાન કૌમમાંથી અમે તમને આપણો દીન સાબિત કરી દેખાડીએ. Now this is, look at the powerful words Imam is using. Imam is saying that if you want to find the truth of our religion, talk to me about Yahudi, Jews, Nasara, Sunni, all the Muslim sects. I will prove in every tariqa, every sect, this smiley deen. It is a true deen. It is a deen haq. People have called it Jew or Christians or Sunni or whatnot. Tariqa is one. Deen of Khuda is one from day one, and it is deen haq, which is with Imam of the time. Today we are called smileys. Nizari, Shia, Imami, Smiley Muslims, because there are so many names which have been given. So we have names as well. But it is the deen where living Imam is the guide, and that is the deen haq, right? So we have to realize that it is extremely crucial that we need to learn the Quran. And Imam is saying all deen, if we want to look for similarities, all deen we will find if we go into really study of in depth, we will find deen haq. Now, someone may challenge and say, okay, that's why I study Christianity, or that is why I study Hinduism, because it is, I will find Imam in there. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But my question to you is, why are you taking the long route? And then, second is, you are putting yourself at risk of losing. Do you have that much time and liberty? And number 3, Imam's hukum is that first learn your tariqa. If you've learned our tariqa, you have become a teacher and scholar and you know everything about our tariqa, yeah, go out, do that. But if you do not know about our own tariqa, you have not studied the books of our own tariqa, why are you putting yourself in a harm's way? Didn't our Peer tell us, man ka janam ratan hai to kahe ko khota hai? That this lifetime which we have is a very valuable jewel. Do we know when we are going to die? No, we don't. So why are we living mindlessly, absent-mindedly? Oh, that I have time, I will study tomorrow. So these are the things which we really have to reflect when we study Imam's Farman. This is what Imam is teaching us. This is Imam's Hidayat we are reflecting on, discussing, right? And then Imam says, now look at this. This was, તમારામાં કેટલાક ભગતો છે, કેટલાક ભગતો છે, તે ગધેડા માફક છે. Can you imagine that? Imam saying that among you there are so many bhagat. Who do we call bhagat? Those who are teaching, those who have knowledge, those who are doing ibadat and zikr. But they are like donkeys. This is Imam's words. Tell me if Jamaat is able to distinguish between a bhagat who is like a donkey and who is not. Imam is able to see it. Of course, he's Imam. So if we just respect bhagat, anyone who has the knowledge, and follow them, are we certain that we are following donkeys or true bhagat? That understanding will also come from knowledge. There is no other way. But Imam is telling us in this Farman so clearly, તમારામાં કેટલાક ભગતો છે તે ગધેડા માફક છે. કારણ કે જેઓ આપણા દીનમાં નથી તેમને લાગલાજ જ્ઞાનની માયના સમજાવી મંડી જાય છે. And now Imam is giving one characteristics of these Bhagat. There are very many characteristics. That's why I made it a broad thing, because we have to reflect. Because Imam's Farman is applicable today, you know, August 3rd, 2024. It is applicable today. We have to reflect and understand. But here Imam is giving an example that if somebody is Bhagat and they talk to others, they start giving them Ginan's Talimat. Others who do not know Ginan, why would you tell them about Ginan? They will not understand. And in today's time, our children, our own children, smiley children, they'll say, what are you talking about? They don't want to come to Jama'at Khana because they don't understand Ginans. Dua is in Arabic, Ginan is in its own language, Hindi, Saraiki, Gujrati. Our children are only knowledgeable in English today. So why would they attend Jama'at Khana if there is nothing in English? Alhamdulillah, now we have these articles. And we expect our children to go to Jama'at Khana because there's one article which is read in their language. What are we doing at home level to teach them? Yes, REC is there, which does not teach Tariqa as per se, because Tariqa teaching has been assigned to parents. So all these are very critical points, very critical points. By the way, I read an email about one of the doctor, missionary, coming to different Jamaats, teaching about pillars of Islam and our practices, and interfaith couples are invited. Now institutions are doing this, education sessions. And this gentleman, I forget the name, doctor somebody, he is going to travel from Jamaat to Jamaat, and it is this month in August, in Chicago, in Houston, in Dallas, different Jamaat, he's traveling this month, and we will have from institution somebody teaching. Now, if you have learned this knowledge in these classes, if you have some, basis, it will be good to listen to them too and see, what you understand, what you don't understand, what kind of question we can ask. Can we take our children? It is from institutions, so it will benefit. Can we take our interfaith family members to listen to it? Because have we been able to communicate to our interfaith family members that what is our deen? They are our families, our children, our family members. We do need to include them, involve them, listen to someone who will not teach them from Gina, because that's what Jamaat knows. So these, scholars who are visiting, interfaith family members are invited, meaning that we will have an opportunity to be able to have a dialogue, a communication with interfaith family member who could be Christian, who could be Sunni. Imam wants our family members, regardless of their smiley or not, but they are our family members, smileys, family members. Imam wants them to learn. So this is a beautiful endeavor which institution is carrying out, and we need to take advantage of it. So Alhamdulillah, Imam is saying here that if we were to only talk through Ginan, it will not benefit. It had not benefited yesterday, it will not benefit today. પણ જો તેઓને કુરાન શરીફ, હદીસ અથવા જે શાસ્ત્રને તેઓ માનતા હોય તેમાંથી નસીહતો કરે, અને ત્યારબાદ આપણો દીન તેઓને દીન સાથે મળાવી દેખાડીએ તો તેમની માયના તે માણસો ઉપર અસર કરે, અસર કરે. We need asar, we need this, understanding, influence. And today we are not talking about others. It is our Jama'at, our family members, smileys or interfaith family members. Does not matter. They are smiley, family members. So Imam is telling us that the basis is that we need to know Quran. And Quran is a universal book. Anybody can access that book. When we understand Quran and then Hadith, sayings of Prophet Muhammad, extremely important, because Sunnis believe mostly on Hadith, actually, more Hadith than Quran at times, because Quran is in the language of parables. They don't understand it. So to seek clarity, they go into Hadith, and very many times they would quote Hadith. And very interestingly, with what limited I know, when you learn the Tawil ilm, all the hadiths are difficult to understand if you don't have the Tawil. So, for example, all those hadiths about Maula Ali, Sunnis don't accept that because they don't understand. So, what I'm saying that we need to know Quran and hadith today, not for outside but for inside, for us to remain Ismailis and not be taken out of our tariqah. Have this influence for our children. દાખલા તરીકે હિન્દુઓને કુરાન શરીફ ઉપર એતબાર નથી, તેમને પાસે કુરાન શરીફની વાતો કરો તો તે કબૂલ નહીં કરે, કારણ કે એ શાસ્ત્રમાં તેઓને એતકાદ નથી. આવી રીતે સર્વે ધર્મમાં છે, પણ જો તમોને તેઓના દીનની વાતો કરો તો અસર થાય. Very important, again, Imam is teaching us the teaching strategy. That if you want to teach somebody, teach it from something they know and then take them to something they do not know. And if we are talking about, being smiley Muslims, first we need to know about Quran. And if we are learners, yes, we will start from Ginan and Farman, but objective is to learn Quran. The objective is to learn Quran, because Farman, left and right, we are realizing we have not understood it. Why? Because we don't know the Quran. So the Farman which we've been reading and reading and reading for years and years of our life, are we going to stay with that, or now we'll pick up the Quran and start learning the Quran and come back to Farman and say, oh, I never understood this Farman. Isn't this high time for us? So I wonder how many of our friends here are truly taking interest in learning Quran, the meaning of Quran, right? So this is extremely important. And then Imam is saying, તમારામાંથી 10 જણા બહાર પડે તો અમે તેમને આપણું દીન બરાબર સમજાવીએ, આથી 10-12 વર્ષમાં આપણા દીનનો ઘણો વધારો થાય. Imam is very beautifully saying that if there were 10, 12 who would come and dedicate their life 10 years, 12 years to learn the deen, then they will be able to spread our deen beautifully. They'll be able to spread the deen. It is about spreading the deen. Again, not outside, but in Jama'at. If we were to think about Diamond Jubilee Farman and Imam making us die, what did the die do? The word dai is from dawa, giving the dawat. We all are dais. Imam has given us this title, that my whole Jamaat is dai. Meaning what? We really have to learn among ourselves first, become strong, and learn what today? Quran, Quran, Quran. Then only we will understand Farman. Then only we will understand Ginan. We are not saying to leave Farman or Ginan. Please do not misunderstand me. But let us focus in the area where we are weak, and then come back to our books which we know already, and then we'll have broader understanding. So this point I have to emphasize, etkad nathi. It is very important to have, we have to identify what do we believe in, where is the etkad, where is the iman. Wherever the iman is, we have to strengthen the iman. And today, if I may humbly share this, that we are discussing this Farman because we believe in Imam's words. We believe in Imam's words. So this is what we are starting with, familiar what we know. But hopefully we have to say, it has to come from you all, that now let us study Quran. We understand Farmans. Let us now study Quran in more detail. I'm waiting for that. Or I hope that you are attending sessions in global lectures or what we do in book studies in the evening time. I hope you are benefiting from those lectures, because we discuss much more Quran in those classes than Farman classes. I do try to bring verses of the Quran whenever I can, but it is not possible all the time. But this group who did requested Nachis to take this Farman lectures, and this request had actually come from Africa, East Africa and South African Jama'at. And I had accepted that, and we started these classes. that Jama'at does not know Gujarati and they want to understand this book, and then we do not have very beautiful translation of this book. But is it only the translation and the but the meaning as well, right? So we are discussing the meaning as well. So this Jamaat, I do not know how many of Jamaati members are attending from Africa, but all those who are here, isn't this high time for us to change the route and do something different and discuss and come back to Farman? Again, this is all up to you as listeners. And we have to just not continue to read Farman, but Farman Bardari is needed. Farman Bardari is needed. So we have to follow the Farman as well. After understanding Farman, Farman Bardari is needed. If you are being Farman Bardar, Alhamdulillah, nothing to worry about. But if you are not, then we need to think about it. Are we really benefiting from these sessions? Otherwise, our time is very valuable. So Imam is saying that someone has to dedicate their 10, 12 years of life to learn the tariqah and then they can teach. So it is again important to understand the dedication. How many of us attend life dedication? How have we dedicated our life? Is it about attendance in Jamaat Khana or attending majalis, saying dua or doing Isma Azam Ibadat? Is that dedication? I don't see that dedication in this Farman. Imam's definition of dedication seems different. So we need to think about what does dedication mean. And if we are in that majlis as well, Farman Bardari matters. તમારામાંથી 5 કે 10 જણા એવા જોઈએ કે જેમને દુનિયાની કોઈ ઝંઝાળ ન હોય તેમજ કમાઈ ધંધાની ફિકર ન હોય અને તેઓ આપણા દીનની કવાયત કરે તો તેઓને વાસ સફાઈદાર થાય અને માણસોને અસર કરે. Now very interesting, Imam is asking from the Jamaat that there has to be 10, 12 people such that who do not have burden of worldly responsibilities, worldly work, and they have to dedicate their time to learn the deen. And when they learn the deen and they are knowledgeable, and with time their was what they are teaching is going to become so clear and so influential that we will be able to benefit. And I do see that, actually I do see that at global lectures. I would give example of Dr. Fakir Muhammad Sahib, who is retired. Rashida Hunzai Sahiba, she's retired. They both are missionaries, retired missionaries, and they are teaching so beautifully. They have dedicated their lives. So we do have role models in front of us. I wish I could do that, but I have to work. I have to take care of my worldly life as well. And so we all are tied by our responsibilities. But Imam's desire is this too. Not all the Jamaat has to do that. Some of us have to do that. Because Imam wants us to live normal, balanced life, have the family as well. The teachings are not to leave the family life. But there has to be some who completely dedicate their life. And I see a couple who has done that. So we are blessed to be able to attend their lectures as well. And more we have to realize this importance that when we attend life dedication majlis, how are we dedicating our lives? Yes, the balance has to be maintained, the family has to be taken care of, the work has to be done, but other than that, do we not have time? Are we watching TV? How are we spending our time? What are we doing in our lives? The time which is so valuable, and we do not know when will be the last breath. How are we utilizing our time? So this is Imam's desire, that we learn the knowledge and spread the knowledge. This is Imam's desire. તેઓ જ્ઞાન પढ़ે તેમજ તવારીખ પढ़ે જેથી અસલ માણસો કેવી રીતે ચાલતા હતા તેઓની ખબર પડે. And Imam's desire is that not only Quran, study Gyanan, study history, and find out asal manaso. When Imam is saying asal, there has to be nakal as well. Imam is saying those who were true, people, true mu'minin, how did they used to follow the path? Meaning there were those as well who were not following the path but acting like it. We have to look at Farmans in both ways to be able to understand it critically. Time is up. I think I should stop here because this Farman is so powerful that I think we need to stop here so we can really reflect. And if we have reflections, I would love to hear that. Ji.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. As you mentioned, it's a very powerful Farman and something really to reflect and think about, Niamat Saiba. Again, it's very surprising that this Farman was made 130 years ago, and we are still haven't actually started implementing it properly. So, inshallah, we will start doing that as such. Friends, do you have any questions or comments or reflections? Please come forward.
It is a difficult Farman as well because it makes us really reflect in our being and see, and it is hard. Remember, again, I have to say this, that intention is not, please remember, to not make any one of you feel guilty or bad. I am with you. I'm asking myself because I see myself being lazy many a times, distracted. So for each one of us, we have to be really critical and honest with our own selves and become better every day. So intention is not to make anybody feel bad. Please remember that, because if you are here, you're already interested, you're already learning knowledge, you're already on the path. But is that all? Do we need to do more? What we are seeing in Imam's Farman, we really have to work very, very hard because we are starting late. We have to catch up. So there is a lot of work which we need to do. And if we do not become really serious and mindful, it will be difficult to catch up. So, in that sense, to bring seriousness in us, I say what I say. So, please humbly forgive me. I do not intend to hurt anybody. Please remember that. Ji.
In terms of getting started, because obviously to start, you need to have a Quran first. So in terms of starting, would it be beneficial if even if people are not intending to read the Quran or even look at it, but still go and buy it so that it's in the house? So
Yes.
that's the first step.
Yes, very important, Karim. Thank you for saying that because our Jama'ati members, do not even have Quran in their home because they don't think it is our book. We will have Ginan book, Farman book, but no Quran. Quran is our book. At least we have to have, Quran at our home, and not just one translation. We need to have a Shia translation. We need to have Sunni translation. And when we were discussing this in Gujarati class, and I said each family member should have their own Quran, regardless of their age. Each family member, do we not gift our children storybooks and they would treasure that? This is my books, this is my book, this is my area. In that area, I hope there is Farman book and I hope there is a Quran book as well. From the young age, they have to realize, oh, this is my Quran. This is what I need to study. I need to learn. And not one version of Quran. We should have Shia version. We should have Sunni version. And then I say this too because more and more I'm with experience after COVID, I promoted a lot the Quran which is of Yusuf Ali, which is available in the market. And the reason was that his Quran is available with transliteration. You will get the Quran Arabic and its translation, that is it. And I don't like that for our Jamaat. I do want us to have a Quran with transliteration because we can read English the way we reading Roman Gujarati. I have become so weak in Gujarati, I have not been in practice, and you saw me, I struggled, and I got back to Roman English. Alhamdulillah, somebody transliterated for us, so we are able to take benefit. So when we don't know Arabic, why do we make it as a limitation in today's time when we have transliteration? Inshallah, we will learn Arabic. But today, whatever we study, why not read the transliteration? So that is why, if you were to listen to my previous lectures, I promoted heavily Yusuf Ali Quran with the intention that you will have transliteration. So we need to know what Quran, Shia Quran, Sunni Quran, and our children, if you give them and you tell them you need to read, and they say, I don't know, oh, but you can read that, and let them make mistakes and read the translations and transliteration, and they'll benefit from that. Ji. Anis, I see your raised hand.
Yani Wadat Niamat Saiba. I think in this Farman as well, I think probably they did last time that Sultan Muhammad Shah is saying that that he can amit monegina ni ek kari Quran Sharif matika dia. So yesterday in the Jama'at Khana, we had a Ginan who said that Saraga Bhavanati. And in the last verse of the Ginan, it says ke eji sabajuga no sorry eji koi jana sultan koi jana jage banda koi kare kamai sab ajire sabajuga sultan mero khalak jage khudawand jage. I think this kari can be a reference to Ayat al-Kursi that what is it? Neither he slumbers, that's right, or sleeps, right? Yeah. And Tumucheta Mana, another one, I think. There is a verse in the Quran that can be associated with this Quranic verse. Yep.
Yeah. Subhanallah, thank you.
Yeah,
so can you imagine, like Anis, if you did not know Quranic verses, how would you relate it to the Ginan? So new level of understanding. And she mentioned not just one verse, two verse, and in Jama'at Khana, you become so, joyful and happy because you're understanding this, you're listening to same Ginan. These are same Ginans we've been listening all our lives. But today they speak to us differently. Can you imagine her joy? This is Ayatul Kursi Pir is teaching me in the Ginan. So yes, I love, I've done some of the Ginan lectures and I do, all the Ginans we need to discuss. But, I stopped it because then I kept on getting requests, let's discuss this Ginan and that Ginan. No, first we need to study Quran and then go to the Ginan. So, Anis is I know Anis is very knowledgeable in Ginans. But today when she's learning Quran, she doesn't have to learn Ginan. Automatically it speaks to us. Because these are our Pir Mai Bap's teachings. It will speak to us when we will understand them. So, when we say Farman Bardari, remember our Pir Mai Bap are teachers, right? They are our teachers. And we have to be Farman Bardar to our teacher. So teacher has taught us, but we have not really understood how can we obey the teacher because we didn't understand. We just related it to being awake and sleeping. That's it. But Ayatul Kursi talks about Khuda Ta'ala. He never sleeps. Slumber never takes over him. And Pir was teaching us Ayatul Kursi. How mind-blowing is that? So, can you imagine the Imanji Mazbuti which we are seeking? Imanji Mazbuti is actually based on learning the knowledge. We can pray all our life, there'll be no Mazbuti of Iman. But if we learn knowledge, just this one Ginan Kadi, whole Ayatul Kursi, and Ayatul Kursi doesn't teach us about one thing. Ayatul Kursi meaning is like so broad. We continue to learn and grow, I would say. But what a happiness, Anis would have received in Jama'at Khana. So thank you, Anis, for sharing that. Thank you.
Yes, it was a wow factor. I thought, oh my good Lord, this is Ayatul Kursi.
Yes, I believe that.
Yes.
Ji Hamida Ma. Hamida Lalji, are you saying something? No.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
You're most welcome. You were saying something. Did you learn something? Can you share your thoughts?
A lot of learning is there, and I always read this Farman book in Gujrati. I got it in Gujarati, but I, learning from you that we should really learn also Quran from Quran. And that is what now I'm trying to do. Like, I've got my Yusuf Ali, and also I've got Mir Ahmad Ali.
Very good.
But I like Yusuf Ali, although Yusuf Ali is not, he's Sunni, isn't he?
Yeah, so I presume in the beginning that he's Yusuf Ali, he's Shia, but later I learned no, he's not Shia, he's Sunni.
Yeah. But like there isn't much difference between Mir Ahmad Ali and Yusuf Ali. So when I have any problem with Yusuf Ali, I try and read Mir and then Mir Ahmad Ali. So I'm glad you have to, you suggested everybody that we should really go through Quran and give Quran. Actually, I've got 2-3 extra books in the house, and I've got 3 granddaughters. So only 2 days ago, I was thinking I should give them each one Quran book. Because when I was little, I had an impression that Quran is not for us. For us, it's only Farman. But now I realize it's not only Farman. We have to go through Quran. And that is what I've learned from you today. Much more. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's a beautiful idea. I would highly encourage, yes, give them a gift of Quran, not just one Quran, but 2 Quran, and tell them when you have time to read it, read. And you are right, Mir Ahmad translation is better than Yusuf Ali. So I agree with you that yes, you're doing the right thing.
Thank you.
Shukran, Mama. Thank you.
Friends, any other comments or questions before we close the session? It looks like we've exhausted all the questions. Thank you, Niamat Saiba, once again for a wonderful session. And inshallah, we'll continue with the Farman next week. Ya Ali Madad, everybody. And Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Ali Madad.
Mola Ali Madad. Thank you. Ya Ali.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Yasmin,
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ma,
Allah bless you, ma.